to all my Sagittarius. So let's just jump into the video. So you Sagittarius have got the Eight of Cups, the Four of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Justice, the Fool, the Queen of Cups, the Four of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, the Strength, and last but not least, we have the Five of Swords. Okay, so for you Sagittarians, no major arcana that represents Sagittarius. Sorry. For this reading anyway. But for you Sagittarius, I'm seeing how, just kind of like how, it's interesting. You kind of had some people, you kind of had the, how do I say this, right? The Eight of Cups, Four of Cups. You had some people try to buddy hustle you up, right? As you're getting to know them, try to convince you that they like you more than what it is that they actually do, because they're basically hustling. They're basically trying to finesse you, manipulate you. The Queen of Wands, however, you in your correct standing, you saw it a mile away and you saw what it was. You gave them a fair shake, but eventually justice came knocking. Now, in this tarot deck, the justice can be orientated incorrectly. So you really do have to pay attention to this. You really do have to pay attention to this, for this. Because this is you meaning well, but you needed to be a little bit more ruthless when you decide to cut them off, or if you haven't already cut them off. The Fool represents there is a need to cut them off, because the longer, if you haven't done it already, because the longer you keep them around you, is the more they're going to sink their teeth deeper into you, meaning that they're going to tell you whatever it is that they think you Sagittarians want to hear in order for you to accept them as one of your own and trust them, so that they can still finesse you. They could still manipulate you. So you have to be very careful of how you engage with them, because they are not trustworthy. I would suggest, once you peep them as playing games, if they're in your proximity, you don't want the situation to get into a bad situation. So what you want to do is you want them to think that they have more control, and you want to actually end things with them for the night by saying, hey, if they're over at your place or something like this, you want to say, hey, I'm going to go to sleep. Speak to you tomorrow, right? Nonchalantly. If it's in a public setting, right? You can essentially tell them that that look like you're having fun. Essentially tell them that you'll call them tomorrow. If you're over at their place, first and foremost, I don't suggest you going over at their place. If you happen to be over at their place, right? Kind of play nice. Give them most of what it is that they want. Tell them that you're going to communicate with them tomorrow, and don't. Right? Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. That's a lie. Yeah. But when you're dealing with people who are manipulative like that, you may want to lie back, or, lie also. All bets are off. I'm always down for telling the truth, but I'm not so caught up in my own way that I go about myself and my own culture, because culture means the way that you do something. I'm not so caught up with my own culture to the point where I'm conceited and I don't know how to change according to the situation. That doesn't mean that. Of course I can change, because remember, you have to also, that's my cat up underneath the door, but you have to also take into consideration that these people may end up being deranged. So they may not necessarily be in their correct mental space for you to really interact with them right? Especially if it's a setting that they have an advantage in, like their home, right? So you wanna make it into a public place with them and kind of see the wheels turn of of the things that they tell you to try to manipulate you, because they're trying it right now. Now the Queen of Cups represents you may need a little bit more guidance. So some of you Sagittarians have this past tense, right? Or present tense. That's why it is that you clicked on this video. You're getting the guidance that you wanted. You Sagittarians, excuse me, needed to think about it. What is it that you are going to do? How is it that, were this person is so, it appears to be one way, but this person is trying to manipulate you, but you're still trying to give them a chance. The Four of Pentacles is you need to be more stern with them. You need to show them that you're not weak by not telling them that you're onto them, of course, because they're going to lie and make it seem like they don't know what it is that you're talking about. So what is it that you do? What you do is you essentially end up just allowing them to think that they are in control. Thus why it is that I say meet them in a public place, go act like you're going out on a date with them, which is really your last meal when you're hanging out with them, or some sort of coffee or something like this. And just while you're asking them certain questions and getting into conversations and making certain comments and stuff like this to kind of see where their mind is. But when it comes to the cutoff stage, leave them be and be ruthless about it, and don't think twice. Don't think to look back, because the Seven of Pentacles represents, because they're going to cherry pick you. They're going to try to get what they can get out of the situation from you. And they're not going to be very remorseful when it comes to you. They're not going to allow themselves to be very compassionate and forgiving when it comes to them trying to cherry pick and manipulate what they can get out of you. The Strength represents they already had this intention, even though they look like the knight in shining armor. That's not actually who they really are. And what it's saying is, don't let your own strength of you Sagittarians being strong yourself, because Sagittarius can be a very intense sign. It's right next to Scorpio. And Sagittarius can be a very big outburst. Well, but what I'm saying is, don't be so strong in that sense, because your strength and your enthusiasm and your potentially your anger, or your frustration rather, / anger, because Sagittarius can be an angry sign. You know what I'm saying? Sagittarius is actually, more potentially dangerous than Aries and Leo. And I'm an Aries moon. So Cancer crabs is number 1. Scorpio is number 2 as far as dangerous is concerned. Right? Going from most dangerous to least dangerous. And Sagittarius is number 3. So, yeah. So, don't allow that to be used against you. Because these types of people can do certain things if they figure that they're not going to get a bag out of you. They figure then they'll try to get you put in jail. They'll try to get you to make wild outbursts and have you out here being put in a position where now you compromised yourself because you told them something, or because the way that you interacted with them, everybody is playing, the pious knight role where they're, conflating stuff. You don't want that. You want to keep your cool. And if anyone spazzes out, you want to make sure that they're the one spazzing out. Now, the Five of Swords represent also too. Please make sure to understand that this person planned this for a long time. Maybe they may not necessarily have planned it from the very beginning, But when they started to see that certain things about you, Sagittarius, clicked the way that they liked, their eyes got big and they started to have money signs in them. So you need to pay attention. So let's clarify the Five of Swords. Page of Wands, Page of Cups, Five of Cups. Right. You need to cut them off. While you're cutting them off, they're going to try to make it seem as if you don't know what you're talking about and they really do like you and that they're trying to make this relationship work. Yeah, don't believe them, because I'm telling you right now, they're trying. It's a game. They're going to try to manipulate you. And if you allow yourself to be manipulated, what's going to happen here is you're going to find yourself in a position coming back to these videos here, right, in a worse position, because you're going to be thinking to yourself, Kareemspiritworks told you what it was and you didn't want to listen. Now, I know I have a lot of Sagittarius viewers. Shout outs to y'all. Really appreciate it. And I want more Sagittarius people to come through and get a reading from me. What's up with that? You know, y'all are some of my biggest supporters. What's up with that? But, you know, I'm just joking. But for real, though, come through and get a reading. But the point is, don't be out here believing them. Now, let's clarify the Seven of Pentacles. The Ten of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Magician. The Ten of Cups is, their plan is to make it seem like the two of you are like a married couple, even though the two of you are not. While they see you as an individual that's trying to create a home with them, they're going to try to cherry pick or steal or ask you to buy them stuff while you're in there, while they're in your good graces, because they know that because you like them, you may not necessarily say no to their wants. And the Magician represents, you need to pay attention to this, because this is where the wisdom needs to come into play. Because if you don't, you need to understand that you don't need them. Excuse me, and you need to have more self-respect. Because if you get yourself caught up out here, again, they are playing a game with you. They want you to think of them as being so beautiful and so inviting and so warm. And look at the flower that's in this person's hand. How they have a green thumb and they're loving. That's not true. They're only trying to make it seem like they are the perfect individual for you, so that you can be convinced into interacting with them. If you allow yourself to interact with them, I'm telling you right now, Sagittarius, they're going to use you for try to use you for every dime and cent that they can get you for, and then they're going to leave. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe. If you'd like to contact me for a personal reading, my email address as well as the website are in the description box below, as well as the pinned comment in the comment section. Also, too, please make sure to get my book at Amazon. The link to that is in the description box below, as usual as well. Peace.